Chompumogyong, Book 11, Chapter 1, Section 4. To work toward creating the American Clergy Leadership Conference, 120 high-ranking leaders from 44 religious groups in America went to Chompeon Training Center. We are creating one united body of Christ. If we make one body, we will be able to revive America. If we let the churches stay divided, we are not loving the nation. Fighting does not lead to oneness. We must become one, and so we are establishing this church association. By doing this, we will form a Cain-type body in relation to the Unification Church. We have initiated a strategy to create this association of 144,000. How will we redeem the 50 states of America? To do this, after the 120 religious leaders go to Korea, I must come and declare that I will create the American Clergy Leadership Conference of 144,000. If this is not done, denominational fighting will lead to the complete loss of the family, our sons and daughters, and all of society. Our sons and daughters will perish because religions are fighting. If America perishes, we will see that it did so because the Christian denominations were warring with each other. The conflict among Christian denominations and among religions has hindered the providence of God and repeated the fall in front of Satan. We must end this disunity. If we establish an association consisting of 12 Christian denominations centering on the pastors who visited Korea with the American Clergy Leadership Conference, and then create an ecumenical assembly of 144,000 around those pastors, the politicians will be able to stand up for God-centered values and save America. If America prepares such a foundation, it will take a position of leadership transcending denomination and religion. If it accomplishes that, America will be able to save the world. Aju.
How are you doing? I think last week was very eventful week. We had a lot of programs and we had our big blessing ceremony in our church as well as in, of course, the big one in Korea. Then we had four of our young members getting blessed here. And many of our members went to Korea. They received blessing there. And one of our young member went to Europe and she received blessing there. And it was truly great. And let's congratulate all of them who received the blessing and really confirm their faith in God and true parents. Let's give a big round of applause for them. Also, we had that beautiful memorial for our True Father's Sungwa anniversary. Of course, it was together as the same ceremony, but I felt this year was even more better than last year. I know many of our members were involved. David Eaton was involved, I think, and many of our headquarter team, and it was really beautiful. And I could not watch the entire program because after the blessing was in the middle, then our blessing participants were from far away. They had to leave and they needed to do ceremonies related to that. That's why we had to go on other things. But several members who watched the entire streaming from Korea, they shared how beautiful it was. And the parts I watched, I felt all throughout True Father's whole presence. And I felt it was a true tribute to our True Father's life. And everything he touched, and it was kind of, even though briefly, it was touched and shared there, and it was truly beautiful. And I heard True Mother was very keen to design that musical in a way which can truly touch true parents, true fathers' life all throughout. And I really want to give a big thank to true parents as well as all those people who work behind. And let's give a big round of applause to everyone. And also thank you so much for all the volunteers. And we had so many of our brothers and sisters work hard to make that happen. And I really appreciate your work, and you made that happen. And that was a truly we were glorifying God and true parents. That was wonderful. And on a sad note, Reverend Onishi passed on to Spirit World last week, and it was Friday. Then we had a Sungwa ceremony on Sunday evening, and we did that very quickly in order to allow all those pastors who were going to Korea to come and attend that. And yesterday we had the Wonjon ceremony. And I felt Reverend Onishi was truly a champion for God and truly a peacemaker. And he really tried his best to bring unity among Christianity, among different Christian denominations here in New Jersey and District 3. And he was a great brother for all of us, a great champion. And let's give a big round of applause to him, and we will deeply miss him. Thank you so much for all of your presence and support towards Onishi family, and they deeply appreciate your presence and support and prayers for them. And today, I want to talk about the dream of true parents, or dream of God, particularly in solving the problems of the world and establishing a peaceful world. And again, and also, I want to talk about what are we doing in order to achieve that as a movement, and as individuals and families, what can we do? By the way, what do you think, what are the biggest problems of the world? In a macro level, large scale, what are the big problems world is facing now? It could be anything, just feel free to share. I just want to hear from you. What do you think? Family breakdown, yes, that's poverty. What's that? Disunity. Lack of education, terrorism, ignorance, lack of love. And all of your answers are pretty good. It can encapsulate a whole lot of things like lack of love, ignorance, poverty, and all those things. These are big problems. I always read about these things, and even last week I was reading a lot about this. Then among this, the top 3, according to several surveys and many studies, they put it down saying that the top 3 problems right now the world is facing is, one is climate change, and that is number 1. Then the second one, they say it is the wars between countries and large-scale conflicts. And the third one is religious conflicts, fighting between different religions and different churches and those kind of conflicts, religious conflicts. These are the 3 major ones according to, it's not a survey focused on any particular religious people, or it's a lot of non-religious as well as religious, many young people involved. According to them, these are the major problems right now our world facing. And we know these are, when you say climate change, I would say that is kind of a problem with our stewardship towards nature. And as you know, we have among the 3 great blessings, and third blessings was taking care of the creation, which is stewardship. And are we doing anything about this? And I'm glad that when I ask you, you made this good answer. Sometimes when we ask some people what is the biggest problem, then this internet is not working. And my phones, I'm running out of my phone. My phone charges, there's no phone charge. That's why I cannot call anyone, and no problem, no way. That's big problem. And sometimes it could be like I'm not able to use my computer this charger doesn't work, the plug doesn't work. That kind of simple problems can be so big sometimes for individuals, isn't it? At one time, while I was in India, I had such kind of one problem. Like my phone ran out of, because nowadays we save everything, all the phone numbers and everything in phone and computers, and I don't remember so much. I used to remember a lot of phone numbers, like at least 30, 35 phone numbers I had. Quickly in my number, I just dialed that. And this time when I went there, one day my phone ran out of battery, my computer ran out of charge, and the plugs work differently, so I couldn't plug them anywhere. And I didn't know any number except Rani's number. Of course, my old home phone number from my town, I remember that also. Then our church phone number, main phone number, I know. Nothing else. And even passwords, you don't need to remember nowadays. And sometimes those kind of problems, we say, oh my God, it's the end of the world, kind of. Of course, these are kind of simple things. And here, I mentioned about these three major things the world facing, or at least a certain number of people think those are the biggest problems. And what are we doing about that? If you analyze what our movement is involved, what are we doing right now, or even this very close recent church activities, if you analyze, I was so proud that I could see all these major things we are trying to address. You remember when True Mother announced about Sanhak Peace Prize, the first Peace Prize went on to specifically towards people who are taking care of nature, was trying to solve natural calamities, as well as people who are concerned about the impacts of bad stewardship, impact of abusing nature. So True Mother acknowledged people who really take care of the nature properly and taking care of dealing with those kind of issues. And if I say specifically, like last year, we had a conference in Washington, D.C., centered on UPF and IAPP. We invited parliamentarians from all around the world and a lot of parliamentarians from America. And I personally attended that program. And I could see that True Mother is really challenging those political leaders. What are you doing about these problems? Like, what are you doing about the problems world is facing, the climate change, or also True Mother talk about, wanted to, in many of our discussions, the big, large level conflicts we are facing right now in the world, like problems with the ISIS and all those things were in discussion. And True Mother was educating those leaders, these world leaders, in order to solve those problems. As I was preparing this sermon, I felt so proud of our movement. I felt so proud of our true parents, how much they are thinking about the future of the world. And I remember earlier this year in February, when I attended a program in Korea, True Mother talked about the pollution, how much pollution we have, and she talked about children being born with genetic disorders because of the pollution we have. Because people use this planet or misuse this planet without any proper ethics, without any concern towards other people, without any concern towards the nature, towards animals, towards plants. The nature is dying. And True Mother is thinking about that. And for us, imagine when we buy a house, when we are looking to buy a house, we would look for better areas where our children can live peacefully. We don't want to buy houses in a crowded city where too many cars and buses run and then always smoke. We inhale that smoke. We don't want to buy that kind of houses because we want to live, our children live in a peaceful place. We want to raise our children in a healthy environment. Our True Mother is thinking like that, not just for their family, not just for the Unification Church members, not just for even religious people, but for everyone. She was thinking about everyone. She was talking about people who live in China and people who live in many other parts of the world. Where they don't have clean water, clean air, and a clean environment to live. As the mother of humanity, she was talking about that. It's not just a climate change jargon people always talk about and go to the street and fight for that. But she was truly talking, advocating about true stewardship. We need to think about that. We need to, even in our own homes, we need to think. And she's saying that we need to educate our leaders. And in that particular meeting, she was saying to Dr. Kim that you should go and talk to Trump, saying that we should not have this kind of pollution and all these kind of problems. And as I was preparing the sermon, I thought, oh my God, how much she is thinking about the world, how much our true parents are thinking. And also about the wars and big conflicts, they always think very, very deeply. That's why today, in today's scriptural reading, we saw how they are preparing these ministers to establish ACLC. What is ACLC? ACLC, American Clergy Leadership Conference. It's a coalition of ministers from different kinds of churches. Even beyond Christianity, we have clergy, American clergy involved in that. And why did Father create that? It's talking in that. Father is saying in that reading today, I want to choose 120 religious leaders, high-ranking religious leaders, and bring them to Korea and educate them in Cheongbyon, and then send them back, and then come to America and announce about the start of a new ecumenical movement, a new movement which has people from all different denominations of Christianity, and to unify them together so that the body of Christ can be one. Once they work together, they can bring, according to Father picked that 144,000, that special number from Bible. He wanted to have a coalition of 144,000 pastors or clergy, then create a movement around them. With that, if we have that, if we are able to build that, it can save America. It can save the 50 states of America. And if that happens, America can save the world. That is the founding vision behind American Clergy Leadership Conference. And before that, we know through ALC, American Leadership Conference, as well as UPF, we were still working to go beyond these religious conflicts. True Father specifically say, if the children of God are fighting each other, they cannot have any kind of result, only Satan win. We will go in front of Satan and make them win. That is the only thing can happen if different Christian churches fight each other, trying to steal a member from another church to bring here or towards everyone. That's not the purpose God created. God established these great religions. It is to establish, it is to achieve that great vision of God. It is to achieve, it is to resolve all the problems of the world. But many times, different churches and different religions, they accuse each other. They would say, oh, that's not true religion. You have to join with us. We are the true religion. And we are the real religion. You should come and join with us. All others are fake. That's the way many times people say and talk about that. More than talking about ourselves, we talk bad about other people. We need to change that. But when we were in school, I remember we used to do an exercise. We putting small crabs into a glass tumbler. It's very small tumbler. These crabs can almost jump out, like if they could reach the edge of the glass tumbler. But none of them go away. Do you know why? As soon as one reached the top and tried to get out, others bring them down. The other crabs, these small crabs in that small tumbler, even though they can save them out of that glass jar, they would never go out, because as soon as one trying to go out, all others catch on that leg and bring them down. If they all go out one by one, they all can go out, save themselves. But everyone stay in that small tumbler because they fight each other, because they don't work together. They don't have a vision. They don't know how they can go out, and if they go one by one, they can go out. They don't believe in that. That is the reality of religions nowadays. That's why many times we fight each other and pull each other down, so everyone stay in the same place. And then many times God bring another movement, religious movement, then again that also become the same way. Our movement is there in order to support each other, in order to help each other, in order to bring the heart of God to everyone, to every person of God, to every human being in this world, so that we can save humanity together. If we work together, if we are able to work together with everyone, we can win. Otherwise, nobody can win. Nobody is going to win. Just Satan laugh at us. And I know personally, when I talk to many people, and sometimes we have random guests coming, and sometimes some of them atheists and totally against religions and God. One of the greatest complaints they have is that they tell me, you say your religions are good, practicing religion is good, then why do you fight each other? Why do you, if it is all created by God, why you are fighting each other? I mean, of course, we can say hundreds of reasons, like we are not perfect, many, many things. But for other people, when they look at towards people of God or people of religions, it's like a joke. And they can't see anything promising. They cannot see any hope there. That's why here, our True Mother, even this clergy conference happened right now as the continuation of last year's program in Brooklyn and this year's program in in Madison Square Garden, True Mother invited again those 172 religious leaders, ministers who attended the program, attended education programs in 2011 in Korea. Invite them again. Come again. I want to talk to you. I need to share the heart of God with you. Come. And if you watch the videos we have on Family Fed about the clergy conference, some of those ministers are talking about that particular point. This is first time I could understand the heart of God. They are not talking about anybody else's heart or their own, but they say, this is first time I could understand the heart of God. And that was the purpose. Once everyone understand the heart of God, they will be able to truly work together. And today, many of our ministers went from District 3 in New Jersey. They are coming back. And they listen from True Parents. They listen to many of those educational programs there. They discussed together and they decided we need to work together. Then only we can make any progress for God's providence. Then only we can be anywhere we can beneficial for humanity. But many times, what happens when we come back, that excitement and our zeal towards that, it can go away. But True Mother, our True Parents and God is really looking forward to establishing that peaceful world as soon as possible, even as early as 2020. True Mother was even saying, before I go to spirit world, I want to give you a taste of what is eternal look like, what is a heavenly kingdom look like. That's why she is creating that Hyojong Cultural Center, that Hyojong complex in Cheongbyon. And she wanted to bring all those religious leaders as well as political leaders there and really give them a taste so that they can go back to their countries and they can try building that. I talk about the reality of religion. It's the same thing with politics also. Here we have two major parties like Republicans and Democrats, and everywhere it's same. Most of the time, they just accuse each other. Things never get changed. As far as I remember, I was interested in politics. I always used to read. Ever since I could read, I always used to read about the current affairs. I remember in our area, always we flip people on power. But things never get changed. People get frustrated with the current one, then choose the other one. Then after 5 years, again choose the previous one. Always hoping for the best. They promise the best things, but never happens. And what happens as a result is that good people go away from politics. Good people think, oh, that's so bad. Why do I have to be involved? I don't want to talk about that. They go away. And same thing with the religion also. Many times nowadays we talk about, these 3 major things I mentioned. These are mostly, those surveys were mostly from young people. And those young people choose this climate change, wars, and religious conflicts, not because they are anti-religious, not because they are kind of leftist or any kind of thing, but they have a real heart towards helping people. They really want to support others. They really want to keep a better environment for the next generation. And that's why they said, these are the problems, and no one really take care of that. Nobody dealing with that. How can we achieve? And because, and in one sense, probably you all know that, the issue about the climate change and the issue about this, it's hijacked by anti-religious or anti-God people against God. That's because throughout the history we could see people of God did not become better stewards. They did not take care of the nature. They did not think about future generations. They did not think about plants, animals, and all those things. Then suddenly it's gone. Several very, very anti-human, anti-God, communist type of organizations are leading that. But right now, our true parents are reclaiming that. Our true parents found that with the divine principle, what did we learn? The blessing God has given to us, the third blessing is taking care of creation. Be a good stewards of the creation. And that responsibility our true mother is reclaiming and bringing it as a responsibility of the people of God, so that we can truly become God's children who truly fulfill what God wants us to do. And when we work together, after last year we have that programs with the politicians. True Mother is still continuing all throughout the world. In many different countries, we are having educational programs continuously for many, many parliamentarians and high-level leaders. And here also, we need to continue that. As well as with the ministers, we need to continuously educate them, work together with them. Then we will be able to truly achieve the dream our true parents have. Just think about that Madison Square Garden program. When true parents announced that, we didn't think we could do that. We thought, oh my God, how are we going to do? And years back, when all of our members were unmarried, young members, we could do it. Now, no, we cannot do that. But we see that within a month, by working together with the many, many other people, many other churches, many other religions, we could fill up that place. We were run out of our tickets. We did not have tickets to give away. That much people came because we were collaborating with the other like-minded people. And that's the only way we can achieve anything for God, achieve anything fruitful for humanity, and even solving the problems world is facing. We truly need to work together. And the result, the expectation our true parents have from all these conferences they are organizing is that we work together with them. We will be able to truly collaborate as the children of God without seeing the differences. We will be able to focus on the problem our true parents want to resolve. Then we will be able to bring that result to God. God, we are able to do this, and we will do it for you, and we will do it for our next generations, and we keep everything good. And as religions, though we are different religions, we are not fighting each other. We can make it and believe in us, trust in us. And all of these problems we have is not just a problem of the older people or younger people. We all, even a newborn baby, is at the risk of all these problems we are facing. And today I want to really invite all of you, think about this, how we can really solve this. Our true mother is leading. I felt, as I was preparing my sermon, I felt so proud of our true parents. I felt so proud of our movement, how much we are really dealing with the real world problems. Many times we don't realize that. We are not bragging about that. But when you look at deep down what we are doing, we are truly, truly solving real world issues more than anyone else. Not by taking, oh, I am the leader of this thing. I am the only one saying this. No, our true parents are inviting everyone and telling them that this is what God needs to do right now in this age. And can we work together? And many times we give the entire credit to people who come and support us and work with us. We do not even want to take that credit. And that's the way true parents always function, always work. And let us be that way. And let us work together with all those leaders, those ministers, as well as political leaders. Our true parents are educating, and with them, we can truly solve the problems. And that is what I really wanted to talk about today. And before the clergy conference, I didn't have enough time to talk about the importance of that. But I truly want you to understand why we are having these high-level conferences and inviting people of different religions and work together with them. And what are we achieving through that? We are achieving everything the world needs. We are achieving all those, we are resolving the poverty issues. We are resolving the environmental issues. We are resolving the problems between religions. And we are resolving problems between different countries, different races, and all these problems we are resolving. And when we continuously work together with the true parents, even though many times we don't see this, but when we go together with true parents, when we believe in them, we are becoming a part of the solution, not making another trouble for the world. We are really we become the people who truly, truly solve the issues we have in this world. And let us be proud of being part of a solution and being on the side of God and truly, truly trying to bring all the children of God together and trying to completely inherit the heart of God and make it a reality in this world. And I truly appreciate your presence here today. May God bless you. Let's cheer up for God and work together with God. Thank you.